So I just watched Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and it sadly reminded me of a lot of the problems I've had with Marvel movies in the past. It pains me to say the movie was disappointing because I'm a huge Ant-Man fan. After the first movie, I felt that the series had so much potential to be amazing. Said potential was soon squandered by Ant-Man 2, which I thought was a bland rehash of the first movie. Then Quantumania advertised so many new additions and characters that I assumed there was no way this movie wouldn't be able to beat the original. But unfortunately, while I feel like the second movie didn't offer much new stuff, the excess of new in the third movie is what I think led to its downfall. In Quantumania, you got the relationship between Scott and his new superhero daughter, the quantum realm and its inhabitants, MODOK, one of the biggest villains in Marvel, Kang, another huge villain that's going to be super important in the future, and Michelle Pfeiffer's Janet Van Dyne, who has a whole backstory in this realm they try to go over. That leaves Hank Pym and the Wasp, principal characters in the previous films, that had almost nothing to do in this story. Oh, also Bill Murray is in this for like 2 seconds for some reason. It sucks because director Peyton Reed said this was supposed to feel like the finale to the Ant-Man trilogy, but it felt more like an origin story for Kang and set up for his appearance in future films. Luckily, Kang was great in this movie. Every scene with him felt super intense, and I love the fact that they restrained that classic Marvel comedy during his scenes. The Kang parts are basically what you see this movie for, and it begs the question why they didn't just make a Kang movie if they wanted to focus on his origin story so much. MODOK, on the other hand, got botched. This guy is such a popular villain from the comics, and the fact that he was shoehorned in here and treated like a pathetic joke was really disappointing. They rushed through his backstory in like 2 seconds, and the CGI they used for his face looked pretty bad. I don't get why they didn't just go with a fully animated, grotesque face. I get they wanted to make him look funny for the jokes, but with how serious the rest of the story is, they missed an opportunity to go full horror monster with this guy. I bet the character would have made such a bigger impact that way. I never thought I'd appreciate the metal mask he had on in the trailers. Meanwhile, Cassie Lang, Scott's daughter, is another underdeveloped character that definitely needed more attention if she's going to carry the Ant-Man mantle in the future. We do get a little bit of development from her at the beginning of the movie, and bits and pieces during the journey, but overall she's basically just a kid version of Ant-Man that I'm sure no one would care to see headline a sequel. In my opinion, I think most of these kid Avengers should aspire to reach the heights of Miles Morales, honestly. I will say I did think the comedy in the movie was pretty good. That's one thing I usually see the Ant-Man movies excel at over other Marvels. I would say the same for the action, but there's nothing in here that's as interesting as the fight with Yellow Jacket in the first movie. Even the final battle with Kang felt like a regular fistfight. It's like they forgot Ant-Man is capable of so much more than that. I also think this movie could have benefited from a darker ending. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but basically, I think someone should have died in the final battle. For those who have seen the movie, you probably know who I'm talking about, but it would have made for a seriously epic finale and definitely would have made Kang feel a lot more menacing. That would be how you cap this trilogy. So yeah, I'm going to give Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania a 6.5 out of 10. I'll stay an Ant-Man fan, but it's getting harder and harder to root for the little guy.